Hello everyone and welcome to a classic game of Age of Empires. Oh, this is one of my favorites as we have not just Viper playing as the Goths, but also VNS Cool playing as the Goths. And this is not just going to be one team triple slinging the Goths, but two teams triple slinging the Goths. Now this is from a tournament. This is the winners bracket finals of Clan Masters, the final showdown from 2016. The series is tied 1-1, and the map is Gold Rush. The gold in the middle, whoever controls this gold ends up winning the game, and it's also a very closed map where players can pretty easily wall themselves off. So that means the dominant strategy is going to be wall yourself and sling so that someone can control the middle, and who is the only civ who can spend 3 players worth of sling? It is the Goths. So we will just speed up the Dark Age a bit until we get to the slinging. And oh, it looks like we're going to have a bit of an attack here. Backed takes out the sheep there. But we'll take a look at the players and look at the civs. First, we'll have Backed, who will be playing as the Mongols. Of course, he collects that hunt faster, so he's able to get up to the Feudal Age quickly and sling. Now, the dominant form of slinging is Feudal Age slinging. So back in Aoe2, if you're going to be slinging, you want to get coinage in the Feudal Age. When you sling resources, you pay a 30% fee, so only 70% of the resources you send to get to your teammate. Coinage reduces that to 20%, and banking makes it free, so everything you sling gets to your teammate. Then as Cool, he is the Goths, he will be receiving the sling. As Say My Name, he is the Persians, has the faster working town center, so a pretty good eco can pump the villagers out faster. And then ACCM adds the Celts with the wood chopping bonus, he gathers wood faster. Then on the other side, player who needs no introduction, Doubt as the Mayans. Their resources last longer, so their boar and sheep last give them more food, and that means you can delay your farms a bit, start the sling a bit earlier. Then Riet, same as Backed, he is playing as the Mongols. And finally, Slam. Slam is the interesting one. He is playing as the Vikings. Of course, let's see, looks like he was in a bit of a scout fight up there. But the Vikings get wheelbarrow and handcart for free at the town center. And he's going to take advantage of that by going to the Castle Age and then doing banking and coinage at the market, so his sling is going to be free. That means his sling will come in later than the other slings, but in the long run, it also will be more powerful. Everyone else goes for that feudal sling, but keep an eye on Slam. He's going for that Castle Age sling. Anyway, back to the Viper, he's actually heading up to a pond, and of course, Viper map hacks for the Tyrant team. They have not 1, not 2, but 3 ponds on their sides. We see Rhea already going out to dock. ACCM does have a pond. As the Celts, it's nice to have that pond because you can afford the dock earlier. Remember back on AOC, villagers did not drop off food at the dock, so you're not going to leave a vill out on the shorefish, just going to use the fishing ships. And Viper will be up maybe a bit later than Cool. Because he is investing into that dock in the Dark Age, you do need a bit more of an early economy to support that, even though it does pay off in the long run. So overall, probably going to be just a bit slower with that Castle Age sling and with adding in that dock. And that might give Cool a bit of an advantage to push in early. Looks like Viper is flaring some deer there. Maybe he wants Doubt to take them. And Doubt looks like he has missed his sheep up there. But Sending a Veil probably does want to build that dock up there, take that pond. And looks like our players are flaring. They want to get up a team wall. Everyone, remember, Palisades only cost 2 wood, and they were constructed a bit more quickly, and in the Dark Age even had more HP. Scout's going to fight that Vill, but no problem. Slam should be able to get back to the TC and send a couple more Vills. And good job with the TC. Gets a lot of damage on that Scout. Say My Name pursuing just a bit too far. Ooh, don't send the weak Vill out, Slam. That could have been a mistake there. Oh, back. He started his nickname with an 8. That means it's going to play that taunt. And I'm on Viper's point of view, so I'll see his slings, but I'm actually kind of scared to go to the VNS team, so I think I might hear that taunt every time back to slings. And the slings are going to start coming in fairly soon, as we have some stone walls coming up. All these teams going to be nice and safe. And there's the sling from Rhea, sending resources over to the Viper. And if we go to the achievements menu, we'll do this throughout the game on the economy tab. We can keep track of the slings. So we'll keep track and see how efficient Slam's Castle Age sling is going to be. As all these players fully walled, we'll probably expect them to be stone walled. Gold maybe a bit closer to the Tyrants, but I don't think that matters too much, as it's just going to be which player goes up and controls the middle earliest is who's going to win, whether it's slightly to one side. I don't think that matters. It's the Goth spam that really matters. Now, Goths, this is the weak point in these walls, because we saw some stone walls down here, but Goths only have palisade walls. Not much that Viper can do to wall behind that. And if you look at VNS Cool, he's up already halfway to the Castle Age. Viper just hit Feudal. Viper does have 3 more vills and those 5 fishing ships, but he will be behind. Go to throw up the market with 4 villagers there and try to click up to the Castle Age as fast as possible, but not going to be as fast as Cool. Now, if we look at maybe just take a quick look at the Goths tech tree here. Champions, they are important. There was no supplies, no arson back in AOC, just tracking for +2 line of sight. Not too important, but Squires is important. The blacksmith upgrades are important. Let's see, where is that blacksmith? It is horizontal scrolling. There it is. They miss the final armor upgrade, but they do have blast furnace. And then for the Goths, the castle anarchy lets you make Huskarls at the barracks, but the Huskarls aren't really the unit you want. You really want those champions. Perfusion, make them 50% faster, combined with conscription for that additional 33% faster. You want to spam out those cheaper champions. Huskarls can be useful if you're going to raid, but it's mostly the champions that you want. Maybe we'll see a few Huskarls mixed in. But we want the castle. Yep, there's the castle from Cool. Going up right away, going to use that as his Imperial Age building, so that when he gets up, he should be able to unlock Perfusion and Conscription. And Viper, meanwhile, still advancing to the Castle Age. He will be slower. And he will have the stronger long-run economy, but only Palisade walls. Can he defend against Cool's early push? As here comes the Scout. I'm going to start hacking at those walls, but what's really going to be worrying is now he's up to Imp. Now here come the forward villagers going to build barrackses. One important thing to keep in mind is you want your buildings as far forward as possible. The more time your units spend walking, the less time they spend fighting. And let's see that Imperial Age upgrade just now coming in. Looks like it is about halfway there, almost halfway there. There is backed slinging. I will be on Viper's perspective, but backed. Oh gosh, I hope that Cool doesn't have to listen to that every time he gets a sling that's just in the wreck. Oh, that would be the worst. Anyway, here's a few Huskarls, and I think we can probably go back to normal speed just about now, as they're going to start breaking through those walls, and the vills are forward for the barrackses. Chainmail armor, long swordsman on the way. And Cool will be looking to push. No ranged unit, so he can't really stop Viper from walling up. And Viper's just going to have to contend without stone walls. Now, just as he's about to hit the Imperial Age, let's real quick check out the slings. So again, look at this. Slam, he has not slung anything. Right now, Viper has received 4,500 compared to Cool, who has received 7,000 resources in the sling. But Slam, 1, 2, 3 town centers, and free wheelbarrow and handcart. Everyone else is in the Feudal Age. Slam's the only one actually building a pretty big economy here. And here come the longswords, trying to bust in through that wall. Two-handed swordsman already on the way. And what are these vills going to do here? That is a forward castle from Cool. Really wants to put the pressure on the Viper, but look at those resources. Viper is floating a ton, needs to keep those barracks being constructed and keep those longswords being produced. And looking at his MTC 95, 96, just about there. Cool still hasn't broken in. And there we go, Viper's up to Imp, and we'll keep an eye on his resources now. or his research is now immediately perfusion. And you know what? I haven't actually seen Cool do perfusion yet. That's probably a mistake. That's one of the ones you want to click right away as soon as you're up. And right now it is 30 military to 15, but with perfusion, maybe Viper will be able to catch up. I think we need conscription right away after this too. This is a situation where I think getting conscription might be better than getting the Trebs out, but he could also go for a Treb. Looks like that's what he's doing. Once the Treb out, we all know, as Zero Empires likes to say, once the Trebs are popping, the castles are dropping. Cool, we'll probably need to repair that if they get into a Treb fight, but he will be the first one to get champions out, still with an advantage 37 to 26, as that Sling keeps coming in from the Tyrants to the Viper. And let's see, I'm going to check for a Treb. No Treb yet from Cool. That castle actually is idle. So Viper with 2 Trebs queued. Looks like he's going to win the Treb fight. Let me actually just check real quick. I want to see if he has conscription. Okay, no, he does not. So no conscription for him. Just going to be pumping out the Trebs, wants to get the Treb advantage and win that fight. And in all honesty, look at that, 40 to 41 with perfusion, he is caught up. Also going to make that champion research come in faster. And let's see, still really close on the timings there. Cool will have maybe a slight advantage in pushing if he goes right now with the upgrades, but just now doing iron casting. Viper actually going to have that in too. And no, Viper actually has champion first. Okay, this doesn't account for perfusion. With perfusion, it affects the work rate of the barracks, so your researchers come in faster, I think, because we saw him get it first. And here's the Treb war, but Viper already has 2 Trebs out. And I think Cool sent his villagers back, so he doesn't have anything to repair. But this is going to be the fight right here. 2 triple slings, Goth champions, and they're going to be fighting as Viper deletes the walls. He wants to take this fight. And the KD is pretty even so far. That castle will get some shots in, but now it goes down. Viper manages to produce a 3rd trebuchet, and still an even fight, 35 to 34. Both players with their production, but Viper with perfusion will have the production advantage. And it looks like Cool is retreating, loses the Treb, loses the castle, and has to start backing up. And now we'll just check that economy tab once more. And now, look at that Sling. It is evened up 12,500 to 13,500. And look at Slam, 3,000 resources sent. And oh, look at Backed and Doubt. They're really leading the Sling so far. But Slam's gonna start catching up. If you look at those ecos, 77 villagers, and 51 villagers for Cool, but only 30 for the Viper. That's actually going to give him more pop space for champions, as it is just champions now, no more of those Huskarls being mixed in. And Blast Furnace for Cool, and I'm going to check his tech tree once right before that fight. Does he have perfusion? He does not have perfusion. And it's going to slow down his barracks so much compared to the Viper. Time for another battle of the champions. Viper already, only a plus 10 KD, but this is going to be another fight. Cool's moving some of his champions off to the side to deal with the Trebs, but that means he has fewer in the fight. And I think he's actually going to lose this fight. Might have lost it anyway, but now he's just going to lose it harder. Viper will lose the Trebs, but you're the Goths. You can kill buildings with your champions. Trebs are going down, but Cool has to retreat. As look at that KD now, 94 to 69, and that is not nice for Cool, as he has to abandon these forward barracks, add more, but that's going to affect his production. The key now is that he has taken the middle, but he needs to hold this long enough for the gold to pay off. Remember, this Goths player has 3 players slinging him. Viper's not going to run out of resources for champions anytime soon, still has 1,400 gold in the bank. And we have another battle taking place. That little hill there could be great for the Viper. Cool needs to be careful not to fight on it, as he's repositioning his champions slightly to the side as Viper looks to... He doesn't even need to pursue, he can just take out these barracks. Cool's trying to produce some more in the back. Even has the allied scout there. But this is going to be just such a strong march of the champions for the Viper. Pushing Cool back. And cartography coming in for Doubt. Remember, cartography is what you needed to be able to see what your teammates were doing. Doubt, as of right now, has no idea what this carnage looks like, and all of those dead bodies and skeletons littering the battlefield. Classic Aoe2, look at that. Oh, that's just a work of art. And Viper will continue his work of art, pushing into Cool even uphill. He has the numbers advantage. That KD now 150 to 100, just skyrocketing for the Viper. And I feel like all of that the Sling for Cool is doing at this point is feeding more kills for the Viper, like it's a game of CBA. And now Cool lost the gold in the middle, and this right here is why you pick the Goths, because you want to control the middle, and you want to use that Sling. No one else can match the power of these champions, the power and the number. Viper only has 30 villagers so far, 72 villagers for Cool. He's on but the same population pretty much, 106 to 116. I don't think the villagers matter if you just don't have the champion numbers. And that lack of perfusion really hurt him early on. As the rest of the players going up, Viper even doing crop rotation, getting ready for the long game in case he needs to build farms. But now it is the Tyrant team who has control of those golds. And it's the Vietnam team who has more champion deaths littering this battlefield. Cool's trying to retreat, but this isn't even far enough back. Viper will start taking out those barracks as he's trying to build them. There go the villagers, but there goes the barracks. And 156 population compared to 124, but 88 champions to 22. Viper's military just skyrocketing up into the 90s. Look at the beauty of those yellow champions. Pushing powerfully into the middle, taking the gold, and what is this? Slam! Oh, 3 TCs for our Vikings player isn't enough. He's adding 2 more now that his teammate has control of the middle. Going to expand his economy even further with 117 villagers. And there is the GG, as Backed ironically chats that message as he says GG. And well played by the Tyrants. We will check those achievements one more time. 219 kills, and the Sling, 25,000 to 20,000, and at the end of the day, Slam with that Vikings eco, 11,000 resources sent. He has the highest Sling. Doubt was the second, and everyone else was down around 7,000. That Castle Age Sling really did pay off. Viper, only about a minute slower to the Imperial Age, had to hold on a bit, but that lack of perfusion for Cool cost him that early fight, and from then on out, Viper just kept pushing with Slam's eco powering the Goths. So that sometimes just triple slinging the Goths Age of Empires games can be a thing of beauty, so thank you all very much for watching. And maybe we'll do some more classic games soon. If there's anything out there you want me to look at, let me know, and I'll see you later.